You ever stop and wonder, why is it so hard to do the things you actually want to do? The book sits there. The project waits. The workout stays undone. And you blame yourself. I'm lazy. I have no discipline. I'm just not built for greatness. But what if I told you? That's exactly what you're supposed to think? Because the moment you believe the problem is you stop looking at the system. And the system? It's working perfectly. Let's walk through your day. Morning. Before your eyes are even fully open, your thumb has already moved. A notification. A red badge. A dopamine hit before you've even tasted coffee. And you're in. Not because you chose to be, but because the architecture was already waiting for you. Midday. You sit down to work. Deep focus. Real progress. But then, buzz. A message. You glance. It's nothing urgent. A meme. A reaction. An algorithmically curated nothing. But you've already left the state. And here's what no one tells you. It takes 23 minutes to return to deep focus after a single interruption. 23 minutes. Now multiply that by the 10, 20, 50 interruptions you face daily. Do the math. You're not losing minutes. You're losing hours of your life, every single day. Evening. You lie down. Exhausted from what? You moved. You did things. You were busy. But when you look back, what did you actually build? Silence. Because busy is not equal to productive. And the system needs you to confuse those two things. Here's the hard truth. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. And you're giving it away. For free. Think about it. The largest companies in the world, worth trillions, don't sell you products. They sell you your gaze, your time, your focus. Advertisers pay billions for a few seconds of your attention. And these companies spend billions more engineering ways to capture it. Single. You think the infinite scroll is a bug? It's a feature. Tested. Refined. Optimized. Thousands of engineers, psychologists, behavioral scientists, all working together to keep your thumb moving down. Colors. Sounds. Animations. Delays. Every micro-interaction is designed. The pull to refresh gives you the feeling of control. But you're not in control. You're in a cage with invisible bars. And the door's been painted to look like freedom. Let's name it. This is not a bug in the system. This is the system. Because a distracted person spends more. Scrolling more. Clicking more. Every view is a revenue stream. Every minute is margin. Every hour you spend consuming is profit for someone else. Look at the business model. Free platform? Your attention is the price. Endless content? Keeps you trapped. Algorithmic feeds? Shows you what keeps you hooked, not what's good for you. They don't want you to learn a skill. That takes you away from the screen. They don't want you to finish a book. That's a competitor. They want you inside. Caught. Captive. Consuming. And the most genius part? They made you believe it's your fault for not getting ahead. So, you buy the productivity course, the self-help book, the Hack Your Focus app, which you then scroll past on the same phone. That's stealing your attention in the first place. It's a loop, a beautifully engineered trap. And you're paying for it with your life. This isn't just philosophy. This is biology. Your brain has a system called the dopamine reward pathway. It evolved to reward you for survival behaviors. Eating, socializing, learning, achieving. But it wasn't designed for infinite novelty, instant gratification, algorithmically curated dopamine hits. So, here's what happens. When you get a notification, your brain releases a small amount of dopamine. That feels good. But the system knows this. So, it sends another, and another, and another, until your baseline is broken. You no longer get satisfaction from reading a chapter, finishing a task, building something slowly, because your brain has been trained to expect immediate, novel, effortless. This is called dopamine desensitization. And it's not an accident. It's a feature of the ecosystem you live in. You're trying to focus on something meaningful, while your brain is screaming for the next hit. And you wonder why you feel broken. You're not broken. You're being rewired by systems that profit from your fragmentation. What are you actually losing? Let's get specific. The book you never finished. Not because you couldn't understand it. Because 3 pages in, your hand reached for the phone. The skill you never built. Not because you lacked talent. Because 30 minutes of practice felt impossible when your brain was trained for 5-second loops. The relationship that drifted. Not because you stopped caring. Because you were always half present, even when you were in the same room. The business that never launched. Not because the idea was bad. Because you kept getting distracted before you could execute. The body you wanted. Not because you didn't know what to do. Because the discomfort of the workout lost to the comfort of the couch and the scroll. This is what the system takes from you. Not just time, but potential. The life you could have lived. The version of you that actually, truly, showed up. That person exists, but they're buried under years of fragmented focus. And the system needs them buried. Because a person who is focused, aware, intentional, is a person who cannot be easily controlled. Let's zoom out. Because this pattern, it doesn't exist in isolation. Look at the world around you. The food industry engineered hyperpalatable combinations of sugar, fat, and salt. Not to nourish you, but to keep you eating. The news industry optimized for outrage and fear. Not to inform you, but to keep you watching. The political system learned that division drives engagement. Not to solve problems, but to keep you fighting instead of building. The financial system makes complexity a feature. Not to empower you, but to keep you dependent on the very institutions extracting from you. Everywhere you look, the same pattern emerges. Systems designed to keep you in a state of controlled dissatisfaction. Not happy enough to stop consuming. Not unhappy enough to change. Just between. Scrolling. Worrying. Buying. Forgetting. This is the architecture of modern life. And until you see it, you can't escape it. Most people think focus is about trying harder. It's not. Focus is the ability to protect your attention. And protection requires 1. Awareness. You cannot fight what you don't see. The first step is recognizing the architecture around you. That red badge? Designed to create anxiety. That endless feed? Designed to break your will. That autoplay? Designed to steal 1 more minute. 2. Boundaries. Not motivation. Structure. No phone in the bedroom. No notifications during deep work. No feeds before intentional time. These aren't restrictions. They're walls. And walls protect what matters. 3. Substitution. You can't just remove distraction. You have to replace it with direction. If you don't have something meaningful to move toward, the system will pull you toward meaningless. Single. For patience. The rewiring didn't happen overnight. The fix won't either. But every time you choose focus, you build a new pathway. Every time you resist the scroll, you reclaim a piece of yourself. This is the real work. Not productivity hacks, but sovereignty over your own mind. So here's where you are. You now see the architecture. You understand the game. And you have a choice. Option A. Keep going. Keep scrolling. Keep consuming. Keep telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. Stay distracted until the days turn to years, turn to a life you barely remember living. Option B. Wake up. Not with guilt. Not with shame. But with clarity. Understand that the system doesn't want you to succeed. But it also can't stop you. The system is not all-powerful. It's just default. And default can be overridden. You override it by doing one thing. Choosing focus. Not once, but consistently. Until your attention is yours again. So no, you're not lazy. You're not undisciplined. You're a human being, operating in an environment that was engineered to break your focus. And the fact that you're still trying, that you're still here, reading this, searching for answers, that means something. It means the system hasn't won. Not yet. And it won't. Because now you know. Now you see. And a person who sees the cage has already begun to escape. The system doesn't need to destroy you. It just needs to distract you long enough that you forget you were ever meant to be free.